the throwing, of course, by Bert Jones, and runs by Lydell Mitchell like that. He gained over 1,100 yards last year, but now Lydell Mitchell is with the San Diego Chargers, and Bert Jones was struck down by injury in the final preseason game on this very play. Smothered by the pass rush, he suffered a separated shoulder. So the Colts appear to be in disarray. I asked Coach Ted Marchibroda about it. Teddy, Monday Night Football begins tonight. The Colts have the unhappy task of facing the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys without the injured Bert Jones and without the departed Lydell Mitchell. Thus, it's been said your team is in chaos. True or not true?
Well, definitely not true, Howard. I'm with my ball club every day, and we've had an excellent week of practice in preparing for Dallas, and I feel our ball club is ready to play tonight.
Mitchell left under frankly ugly circumstances. He had charged the management with racism. Was there anything to that charge as far as you're concerned?
Nothing as far as I'm concerned, Howard, because, as I said, our ball club, in the 3 years I've been here, we've played extremely well. They have done the job week in and week out, and that's exactly the way that they've practiced this year, and I'm sure that they're going to do the same thing this coming season.
Tonight you must rely on a young quarterback named Kirkland. Is it remotely possible that he can do the job?
Howard, this week in practice, I've been extremely pleased with Mike. It's Mike's first start ever in the National Football League, but he's picked up things and done things much better than what I had anticipated in practice, so I'm hopeful this will carry over into the ball game.
So you think you can give him a good game and maybe even win it?
Howard, I've judged my ball club on the way they've practiced during the week, and we've had an excellent practice session, so that's my feeling going into the game.
Ted Marchibroda on the Baltimore Colts, who go against the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys tonight. Monday Night Football is back.
20 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras.
Stand by in videotape. Stand by slow-mo.
Stand by to open your mics on the field.
Stand by in graphics. Ready with your opening supers. Stand by the announcers in the booth, please. And roll tape.
3, 2, 1. Take tape.
Live from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, the season premiere of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The AFC Eastern Division champion Baltimore Colts against the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Datsun. We are driven to give you a year-end deal on the greatest economy of all, a Datsun quality. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Hello again, everyone. It's so good to be back for this, the 9th year, believe it or not, of Monday Night Football. And, of course, Teddy Marchibroda probably set our storyline for the evening. We'll get to that in a moment. I just want to say that we think we've got the greatest year yet of Monday Night Football, and it's not an on-air promotion. Let me explain why. An expanded season, 16 Monday night games, 4 specials, 3 Sunday night games, 1 Thursday night games that have matchups like these. Pittsburgh at Los Angeles, Denver and a reprise at Oakland, and New England at Oakland, and that's bound to be a stormy one. About tonight and Teddy Marchibroda setting the storyline, well, we've established it for you. The Colts, despite Teddy's disclaimers, appear to be in total disarray. They've lost 5,000 yards in a single season. 11 men with the Colts a year ago gone. Lydell Mitchell, Raymond Chester, and others. Frank will enumerate more even on that. And so, what looked to be the richest kind of opening game may not be that because of the absence of Bert Jones. We had an augury yesterday, perhaps. The Jets beating Miami, smothering them because of the absence of the great quarterback Greasy, taking nothing away from the excellence of the Jets. And Kansas City beating Cincinnati because of, and taking nothing away from Marvin Levy's great effort with his team, taking nothing away from Kansas City, the absence of Kenny Anderson contributed. A further problem, Dallas hasn't lost an opening day game since 1964. They lost that game with a quarterback who is back where he belongs. Dandy Don Meredith.
Absolutely. Against St. Louis as well as I remember. It was an ease into the whole season. We're going to set them up for it. Something like Marcia actually hasn't lost an opening day game since he's been with Baltimore. This is his 4th season. But he may be in for it tonight because this is the first time as long as I've known Tom Lander that he sits there and he say, Tom, what's wrong? And he has to think a while before he can come up with something because there ain't not much wrong down here right now. They've got it really pretty well together, at least as good as they were last year at Super Bowl champs, and maybe a little bit better. 4 rookies make the team. So I think that the Cowboys, they're off to a good start. They've had a fairly good preseason. He has said, well, we haven't run as well as I'd like. Well, he's going to get a shot to do that tonight. Baltimore last year was 25th out of 28 teams against the run, so I imagine we'll see Dallas run a little bit tonight. The thing I'm pleased with that Tom, in my opinion, after 2 Super Bowls and a great career down here, has now moved himself into position to become a legend. Now, to really be a legend, you got to have a one-liner, something like, I shall return, or I never met a man I didn't like, or, well, I don't know, winning is everything. Well, Tom has come up with it. Tom's line to be a legend is, you can't smile and think at the same time. Now, I think that's going to do it, Frank. What do you think? That's where I missed the whole thing, man. I was smiling too much.
Welcome back, Don, and they still love you in Dallas. They were crawling all over him coming into Texas Stadium tonight. Good to have you back, partner. Good to be back with you.
Thank you.
Howard, and Baltimore, I'm sure they don't feel it's too good to be here because they're in a whole lot of trouble. Howard mentioned some of the players. Lydell Mitchell gone. Bert Jones injured, out for who knows how long. Bill Troop is backup quarterback out, and they're starting a youngster named Mike Kirkland. Now, Mike Kirkland, if you haven't heard of him, don't feel bad because I hadn't heard of him much either coming into tonight. He's a 3-year man out of Arkansas. He was 6 out of 24 in preseason, has never thrown a regular NFL pass. And to complicate matters, David Taylor, the regular left tackle for the Baltimore Colts, he's out of that lineup too, maybe for the season with a broken ankle, and he has a substitute in there tonight from Mississippi, a 2-year man, and Wade Griffin is going to really get initiated tonight because he's up against Harvey Martin. And Harvey Martin, you might remember, they call him a manster or something down here, but he led the NFL in quarterback sacks, so Griffin's going to be in a problem. And if he has a problem, well, young Mike Kirkland has got a major problem tonight. A lot of trouble for the Baltimore Colts, but many times we've seen teams come back against adversity and play great football. We hope so, frankly. We'll be back to the kickoff. There's a sellout crowd, a late sellout crowd here in Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas. The Baltimore Colts against the Dallas Cowboys, a game that we anticipated would be a tremendous football game. They played 30-27 2 years ago in a great battle between Roger Staubach, their quarterback, Bert Jones. And, of course, we've already told you the players that are missing for the Baltimore Colts. Lydell Mitchell, a multiple 1,000-yard gainer over the past 3 years. Bert Jones out with the separation for they don't know how long. Bill Troop, his backup, is also out with a shoulder injury. And this man is healthy, and this man, healthy, is quite a quarterback. He had a tremendous year last year. He's had a tremendous preseason, and he is looking to get off to a good start tonight. Dallas has won the toss. There are the 2 men dropping deep. Number 86 is Butch Johnson. Dennis Thurman, a rookie from the University of Southern California, is back there, number 32. And set to kick off for Baltimore is Tony Lenhart. A lot of excitement here in Dallas. The Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys, looking for an unprecedented 3rd Super Bowl, are kicking off their season right now. It will be Butch Johnson from his own end zone. And Johnson barrels out to the 20-yard line, coughs it up.
And Baltimore's got it.
And Baltimore appears to have recovered. Baltimore hustling down there was number 86. That's the number 1 draft pick, Reese McCall, and Baltimore's in good position. Look at it again. Butch Johnson had to make a decision. He took it out. He carried it loosely, bobbled it, and Reese McCall, the number 1 pick, makes the recovery for Baltimore.
Johnson is so eager to make good that he made a mistake. You don't run a ball back from the end zone unless you're absolutely certain in your own mind you can get past that 20. But Butch has lost his job to the sensational Tony Hill, so he was over-eager.
You saw the lineup, the key player, Mike Kirkland, 3rd-year man out of Arkansas. This will be his first snap ever in an NFL game. Quick handoff, and it goes to Roosevelt Leaks, the 4-year veteran out of Texas. and Lakes gets about 2 or 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Defensively, and they're familiar names to all you football fans, across that front four for the Dallas Cowboys: Harvey Martin, Randy White, Jethro Pugh, Ed Jones, the linebackers. In the middle, Bob Brunig, the key spot for Tom Landry and his defense. Outside linebackers, a sensational athlete is number 56, Tom Henderson. D.D. Lewis is the weak side linebacker. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 21-yard line. You saw the defensive secondary. Handoff. McCauley, and McCauley is met hard. Number 79, Harvey Martin. D.D. Lewis reading the run, closed it down. No gain, maybe a foot. It'll be 3rd and long.
It's a whole new thing for Don McCauley, the Long Island boy, who was the #1 draft choice of the Baltimore Colts 9 years ago, or 8 years ago. He's the spot man, short yardage guy. But now, would you believe he's not only in there as a regular running back, and he's a fine player, but he could be another Tom Maddox. If Kirkland gets hurt, McCauley becomes the quarterback.
Kirkland passing down. Out to the right is Dowdy, 35. Roger Carr to the left. Between them, they've got 5 passes in preseason. They haven't played that much or that well. Draw play. Draw play to Roosevelt Leaks. Far short of the 1st down. And Baltimore playing it very conservative, as you might suspect, with a quarterback, basically a rookie who's never seen NFL action. Bring out Tony Linhart. 4th down and 5. The ball resting at the 20-yard line.
Good observation, Frank. Obviously, it's Marcia Broda's game plan to play very conservatively with the young quarterback, try and rely on his defense to hang in the game, and seize whatever breaks they can get. Linhart about to kick, and as you know, Dandy, he has not had a good preseason.
He hasn't, and I don't really agree with that philosophy of playing it that conservative, but we can talk about that in a little while, too.
Linhart. No good.
Oh, boy.
Tony Linhart off a big year. Misses a chip shot from 30 yards out. It remains scoreless. We'll be back at a loud, noisy Texas Stadium right after this. The Cowboys offensive unit on the field. A 30-yard miss by Tony Linhart, the Pro Bowl kicker last year. There is the offensive unit. Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Robert Newhouse back there. Wide receivers, Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, who has apparently beaten out Golden Richards as one wide receiver, the 2nd-year man out of Stanford. The tight end, the big man, number 89, Billy Joe Dupree. Jay Salty is also in there now. Number 87, the 2 tight end offense for Dallas. 1st and 10, the ball at their own 20-yard line. Newhouse, left side, big hole. Newhouse pounds out for a 7-yard gain to about the 27. It will be 2nd down and 3, hit there by Ed Simonini, who is the middle linebacker of the Baltimore's defense. 17th overall in the NFL last year, 9th against the rush. There they are, front four, a healthy front four. They weren't at the beginning of last year. Those are your linebackers. And a good secondary. Norm Thompson at one corner. At the other corner, Doug Nettles. Nettles, of course, a change in starters at defensive right cornerback for the Colts. 2nd down and 3. Tony Dorsett. Dorsett has the 1st down. I think he'll be ruled down before he coughed up the ball. It was Doug Nettles who came up there and laid it on Dorsett. He did appear to have the yardage for a 1st down. Yes, he does.
Frank, I think Dandy touched on the key point about Baltimore in the opening of the show when he said they're susceptible to the run. In average yards per rush, the Cowboys were 5th a year ago in the league. The Colts on defense allowed 4.25 yards per rush. They ranked 24th. So as Dandy said, the Cowboys will be running.
At their own 31, 1st and 10 for Dallas. Inside handoff. Dorsett, good defensive play. Moving across the line of scrimmage. Number 76 was Joe Ehrman. Gain of a yard. 2nd down and about 9. Tony Dorsett, rookie of the year in the NFL last year. Over 1,000 yards rushing. Exciting player. Set Dallas records for runs from scrimmage. He had a couple of beauties. 12 touchdowns overall on the season. A great year for the Heisman Award winner out of Pittsburgh. 2nd down and 9. Ball at the 32. Staubach, his 1st attempt of the night. Goes to Tony Dorsett, and Dorsett holds on. A flag is down as Dorsett is down at the 36-yard line, short of the 1st down. Stan White, one of the fine linebackers of Baltimore, covering Dorsett. Indication is going to go against the Baltimore Colts. Our referee tonight, Jim Tunney.
He was in Denver yesterday, made a lot of time.
Illegal chuck. Defense. 1st down.
You're going to hear this many times at the beginning of the season, those defensive backs are just not used to the new rule that allows them only to hit one time or ride the receiver within 5 yards. You can't touch them when they go 5 yards down the field, and Doug Nettles obviously has not become accustomed to that new rule. It's going to make for long touchdown passes. We saw it yesterday, and quite frankly, it's a bit of a safety device that was considered that, as well as adding offense to the NFL, considered that by the NFL players and management committee.
The competition committee had that in mind. You're right about that. And Wesley Walker's touchdowns against Miami prove what you just said.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys, their own 37-yard line. The motion man, Tony Hill, an exciting athlete. Inside handoff, Newhouse working against the grain. Fools no one in the Baltimore defensive front four. Squeaks out maybe a yard. Ed Simonini, Joe Ehrman in there on the stop. It'll be 2nd and 9.
They're running left at the moment behind Donovan and Scott with the help of Fitzgerald at center, of course. You just looked at Bobby Newhouse's statistics. But if there is a weakness on Dallas, we'll have to keep our eyes on Andy Frederick, second-year man, number 71, who has to handle Fred Cook, who is an all-pro.
2nd down and 9 for the Cowboys. Play action fake, Staubach draws a crowd and the ball, and he throws it into a crowd. It's picked off. Norm Thompson. Baltimore with their second break of the ball game, and Thompson comes back to the 40-yard line. Staubach under a lot of pressure, hung it up for grabs, and Thompson accepted downfield and returned it to the 40.
Frank told you before what a first-rate player Norm Thompson is. He was great as we look at it again. Dandy, why don't you take over on this?
Howard, he threw a bad ball, which is so unusual for Roger to do. It was a short yardage situation, but we really didn't get it close. So the only thing you can say, he just threw a bad ball, and we'll come back and see why. All right, Howard, you see, right, Roger got hit pretty good. I don't really know what the mix-up was. He didn't have that much time to throw. You see Barnes coming in there. Cook was in there. That was, you mentioned that we're going to have to be taking a look at Andrew Frederick. That was Cook's man. Barnes came in from the other side over Donovan.
Baltimore's second break of the game. Dallas fumbled the opening kickoff. They couldn't capitalize. They get the interception, and moving for about 3 yards, Roosevelt leaks. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 37-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
You guys were saying a while ago, and I understand why you want to try and maybe play it conservative with a rookie quarterback, but I think when they come into a game like this, they've got so many unknowns and so many players that are missing, and they know Dallas is a really conservative kind of team. I would go out for them right quick and throw the ball, do whatever. I wouldn't run right up the middle. I'd try to get some points on the board quick.
The question mark is number 15, Mike Kirkland, basically a rookie out of Arkansas. Having to go at quarterback. He hands off to Don McCauley. McCauley upset Harvey Martin, who is working against another basic rookie, number 69, Wade Griffin. And it's kind of a one-sided duel involving this man. He might be the best defensive end in all of football.
You know, Frank, now when you talk, nobody runs against them very well, and they sure not going to run against Harvey. Harvey didn't move him. He didn't move a muscle right there. He kept moving right back in the back.
You play into the hands of the flex defense, which we'll deal with later. If you run, especially on 1st down. The way to take Landry's computer is to use it in your favor. We'll explain more later. Frank?
3rd down 7. Kirkland, his first attempt. Going to Marshall Johnson. Incomplete. 4th down.
That was their prevent, which they call a 4-0. They're not really a linebacker. They take Brunig and D.D. Lewis out of there, and they really can double everybody that way. They take them short, they take them long, and that's when they only use that thing in a short yard, in a long yardage situation. So he waited until an obvious passing down to throw his first pass.
David Lee, the gray beard of the Baltimore Colts. He's been here 5 years more than any other Baltimore player. He set the punt for Baltimore. Butch Johnson playing a short safety, anticipating the attempt by Lee out of bounds. Baltimore trying to draw the penalty. They don't get it. Fair catch. Called for, but not made, obviously. Butch Johnson lets it drift into the end zone. He just wanted to slow down the defensive team coming downfield. So Baltimore has 2 breaks. They capitalize on neither. The score remains scoreless. We'll be back in a moment. Frank Gifford, Don Meredith, glad to be back with you again as Monday Night Football is kicking off with, well, quite frankly, a game that we had looked forward to all the offseason. However, Baltimore really decimated by the injury to Bert Jones. Lydell Mitchell, of course, gone to San Diego. They received Del Washington. We haven't seen him yet. We might see him on kicks. They have been given 2 breaks. They could capitalize on neither. 1st and 10 for Dallas. The ball at their own 20-yard line. Inside handoff, and Newhouse ducks one rushing Baltimore Colt, turns back to the middle and runs into a group headed by number 78, John Dutton. Loss of a yard will be 2nd down 11.
Mike Barnes was in there, 63 first, and slowed him up, and Dutton killed him off. So thus far, Mike Barnes is playing a whale of a game. That's twice he's had a call.
Barnes made a good move just then. As a while ago on the other side, we had John Dutton made a quick move into the inside too. We'll see if they don't come back up.
2nd 11, draw play. Tony Dorsett, left side. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, tacks on a couple more. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Stan White and Joe Ehrman in there defensively for Baltimore.
Stan White, an opportunistic linebacker who has excelled at the intercept in recent years from Ohio State. Always around the football, or so it seems.
I'll tell you, he excels. He has 23 interceptions in 7 years. He's always there. Passing down for Staubach. He was rushed on a similar situation and threw the interception. Now out of the shotgun. A lot of time. All right. Preston Pearson. He's the man the Cowboys always like to bring in. 3rd in passing yardage, and Pearson gets the Cowboys out of trouble. First down after the 43-yard line. They always bring him in on the passing down.
I think this is Cook that kind of jumps over. Let's see, they did a little crisscross there in the middle. Let me check that number. No, that's Barnes, 63, that comes over. Since a little delay pattern that comes in there, it's used by, I really think, most of the successful offensive teams to utilize that back that comes out there late. Minnesota probably does it better than anybody.
It's amazing the way Preston is always there on the 3rd down, as Frank mentioned.
The only non-Cowboy,
right,
along with Seption, their kicker, that wasn't drafted or a free agent for Dallas. Preston Pearson getting the call. Newhouse right side. Met hard by a really rugged defensive unit of the Baltimore Colts. And I said it at the top of the show, and Don, Howard, you've seen it over the years. A team hit with problems, often in many sports, will play just a little bit over their head. And defensively, the Colts are doing that.
I think it might be true, Frank, and it probably is. But I also know that Dallas, in the first stages of the ball game, and particularly early in the season, they don't really show a lot of anything fancy. It's just basic. They're hitting to the left, to the right, trying to find something that might loosen up.
2nd and 9. The ball at the 43 of Dallas. Tony Dorsett, an opening, look out. Dorsett has the first down. He's in Baltimore territory, 47-yard line. Finally dropped by Lyle Blackwood and Norm Thompson as Tony Dorsett went over the right side. Andy Frederick, who is replacing the retired Ralph Neely, number 71 on that side, providing one of the blocks along with Tom Rafferty.
That's some pretty good holes over there, wouldn't you say? Ooh, he just knocked it out. I had lunch with Ralph, as a matter of fact, today, and he was talking about this offensive line and Tom Rafferty in particular. And he says that he is going to be really one of the good ones. He thinks Pat Donovan's one of the best offensive tackles in football right now.
That's saying a lot.
It really is.
Yep. The 1st and 10 inside the 47-yard line of Baltimore. The motion man is Drew Pearson. Staubach floods back to the left, looking for an individual coverage. He doesn't get it. And the attempt to Tony Hill, covered well by Norm Thompson, and he got some assistance back there from number 40, Bruce Laird.
Now, you might want to know about Tony Hill. This much you know. When Landry starts to brag about a player, and he's been bragging unceasingly about Tony Hill, he's got to be exceptional. Like most rookies under Landry, he sat on the bench last year. He comes from Stanford. He's a 2nd-year man. He hasn't, you're looking at Mike Kirkland now, he hasn't dropped a pass in the preseason, and he had to be extraordinary. Watch this now. Watch Staubach unloading.
I'll tell you, they're getting to it.
Well, it's those kind of licks.
Good Lord.
Oh, boy, that's Ehrman.
Joe Ehrman again.
Joe Ehrman. And I didn't see that. I was watching the thing, too. He got him.
2nd down 10.
Look out, look out.
Cook pressures.
And he got it again.
Forces Staubach into trouble. He misses on the attempted screen.
Now, look for a lot of that tonight. That's why we told you about Cook against Andy Frederick. Cook is one of the quickest defensive ends in the game.
The thing you got to do, well, he's
right open.
You don't go down on your knees like that. He's trying to throw a cut block. All you really want him to do is just slow him up. So stand up, hit him just a little bit, and hold him off. I'd have the conversation with that boy right there. I said, look here now. Let me tell you something,
I think
fella.
Tom will when he looks at the
And I imagine Roger will, too.
Roger getting little or no respect from Baltimore tonight. 3rd down and 10. The ball is still inside the 47. Roger drops to the shotgun. Out to the left, Drew Pearson. Billy Joe Dupree. Preston Pearson, number 26, also in there as a wingback.
There's
A lot of time, and a man is open. And Preston Pearson.
Again. That's right. Oh, he's blowing it.
Was he touched? Finally, an official far downfield.
No. If we look at the replay. I'm sorry, Frank.
Ray Oldham was defending. Well, now the debate. Did he drop the ball? Was he touched?
Oh, yeah, he got it.
Touched him.
Good
He's down
call.
right there.
Now, you have consistently explained that, Frank, in past games. He touched the man was down, and so play was ruled dead at that point.
Been a lot of conversations about the violence and how to correct it. I think in that area, general area, where a guy is down or not down, is one area that it can be controlled a little bit more, because the guys come in and they do take a shot when the guy is obviously not going to be able to make any more yardage.
4th down, Dallas will go for that. And by the way, that was the 7th official who's been added this year that made that call. No other official saw it. Herman, offsides. Newhouse has the 1st down in any event at the 30-yard line. Flag down. You saw Herman, or rather Mike Barnes, number 63, move across the line of scrimmage.
I look for him to have a really outstanding year this year. Newhouse, I'm talking about, for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, he's got Dorsett back there, and they're going to be keying on him. That's not Robert Newhouse or Dorsett, but I think he will have a good one. He's the kind of guy that just seems to, he's a good blocker, very consistent, makes those short yardage situations, and he's awfully hard to bring down.
Okay.
Thank you.
How you been, Howard?
Dallas 3-1 on the preseason. Baltimore 1-3 on the preseason. Dallas lost to Houston. Baltimore only beat Detroit. On the 1st and 10, the ball goes to Dorsett. Bounces to the outside.
Not a bad move.
Nifty move by Dorsett to get away from Sanders Shriver. And he turned it, what appeared to be a loser, into a 3-yard pickup.
All right, that was also a heck of a good play by John Dutton, number 78, that came in there. But Shriver is having his hands full catching it in. Urban caught up with it. Good pursuit down the line.
Looked like John Travolta.
You bet.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Well, somewhat. Frank just did, and I just said, you bet.
11th play for Dallas. 4-yard pickup for Dorsett. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Ball inside the 27-yard line. Motion man, Tony Hill, sets into a wing position. Dorsett, reverse to Tony Hill.
He could throw.
He can throw.
And there he goes, short.
Speed and fools nobody, but he dropped it. Does not hold on in the end zone, intended for Drew Pearson.
Tom loves that play, doesn't he, Don?
Yeah, I was talking to Ermel Allen, buddy. Ermel said if they ever get into this, he actually told me that Pearson was going to throw it. He didn't tell me Tony Hill. If he had waited just a little bit more and got in there behind Scott, he threw it a little bit off balance. He was open there for a little while. Let's see what Pearson, he's going to try to lull him to sleep. Don't you imagine, Frank, on the inside?
He looked like he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He didn't fool anyone.
It was a good move by Bruce Laird, though. He saw that outside move, key number 40.
3rd down 7. Howard said Landry loves that play. Remember the Super Bowl? Robert Newhouse, Golden Richards, that put it on ice. 27-10 over Denver. Out of the shotgun. Staubach. To the man who never lets go.
Is that wild?
Drew Pearson.
I'm telling you. Was that Pearson or was that Hill?
Drew Pearson, and he is still down.
Man, that was some kind of catch.
I'll tell you, while you were vacationing, we talked, watch him again. We talked as we watched Drew Pearson about the fact that the real science of drafting begins with the 3rd round.
It'll be 2nd down and 7. Boy, you talk about lightning. This little man, Howard Don, he can put some moves on like you've never seen.
Well, Don said Dallas doesn't show a lot in the early stages of a season, and the record year in and year out backs him up as we look at the man who can't smile and think at the same time. And we look at the beleaguered one, Teddy Marchibroda, who's gone through all kinds of terrible situations in the preseason.
One setback. Robert Newhouse. Second down, 7. 2 tight ends are in. Newhouse gets the call. Left side, big hole.
Nice.
Look at Newhouse bouncing away from Ed Simonini.
To restore our normal quality service at any moment. As we work to restore the quality of our signal, we will continue our normal programming.
First game. They look like a championship team.
15th play coming up. First and goal, the ball at the 5-yard line. Dorsett losing yardage, hoping to make more. Doesn't pay off, and he's taken all the way back close to the 10-yard line as Lyle Blackwood comes up there from his safety position.
That's the kid who shocked us all last year. As we look at Tom again, the duo one. Blackwood came up with what, 11 interceptions last year to lead the NFL, Frank?
Led the NFL, and he was a cast-off in Seattle.
TCU boy. Over here at Fort Worth. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
You probably knew that.
I'm not sure it's relevant.
Well, I mentioned that. He's close at home. He likes to play this kind of weather.
Second and goal. The ball back at the 10-yard line. Tony Hill goes left. Drew Pearson goes right. Back to the double backs. Back. Screen pass. Newhouse. Look at Newhouse. All right. Newhouse gets away from number 40. Bruce Laird somehow stayed on his feet. Gets it down to the 1-yard line. And what do they call him? A revolving doorstop. I don't know. Revolved on this one.
They wanted to kill me because I said he was no Calvin Hill a few years ago. But this is as good an evidence of balance as you'll see. Look at that yardage pickup, Don.
He's just still, that is really wild. Now, you're right, he's not a Calvin Hill. Calvin retired this year. I would have said.
Would you believe that he called Tex Ran, wanted to come back?
Yeah, I believe that.
Third and goal. The ball at the 1. No score. Inside 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Dallas grinding it out. Staubach rolls out. His receiver falls down. He wanted to go to Salty, Jay Salty, the tight end. Play action fake. Salty slipped out to the right. And it would have been an easy touchdown.
Watch Salty. He's from South Carolina. Team that's
going to attempt the field goal for Dallas. Tony puts it down. I don't believe it. Just signed the other day. Was too close. Apparently he misses from the. I don't believe it either. We'll be right back in the Texas Stadium in Irving.
Medical coaches of only on to New York. Short.
Raphael Seption from 1 yard out.
they got him
An 8-yard field goal. Got in a little close, I guess. He kicked well for the Rams last year. A friend Herrera held out for the Cowboys this year. They let him go. He went to Seattle. They signed Seption. He's not a bad kicker, quite frankly.
No, he's great inside the 40.
Where is signed him out Herrera? On 1st and 10. Right side. At least Bulls for about a yard and a half.
Well, Marchibroda's going to play it his way, Don.
Well, I think he should. He's coach.
Can you get a direct line down to him?
No, I don't think so. I talked to old Dick Bilski and Max Zivon. I know a couple of those guys. See how they're doing.
Leaks gets a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Baltimore with what should be the final play of the first quarter, and still no score. See some strange happenings. McCauley piled up as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. His weight. Forrest carries him ahead for about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7, and that is the end of the first quarter. Baltimore missing on 2 opportunities. Dallas missing an unheard of 8-yard field goal attempt. It's scoreless. Back in Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, located just outside of Dallas. Sellout crowds over 65,000. 3rd down 7. Baltimore has the ball their own 23-yard line.
They're looking for their first down. They haven't made one yet.
Marshall Johnson has moved into the backfield as McCauley gets the ball. Gets out to the 5-yard line where it'll be 3rd and 5. Well, now they've adjusted the marker. It'll bring up 4th down.
Seption kicked 16 of 18 last year inside the 40, Frank. Well, what was he inside the 2, Don?
I think he was Well, it is. Frank made a point. They get so close, it's just hard to kick them down there. That's what it was.
Should have taken a 5-yard penalty. Many teams do.
David Lee will punt. Butch Johnson is deep for Dallas. Butch Johnson, fine return man. And they put 2 men back. They're probably going to go for the block. And sometimes they'll put Tony Hill back there, too. Hey, clock ran out, and
they caught it.
They caught him, and it's going to be 5 yards.
That was old Tom Henderson, wasn't it? He's keeping an eye on the clock.
They probably were trying to get the 5-yard penalty, and Dallas wouldn't go.
Offense. Still 4th down.
We may yet see Tom Matty come back tonight, old number 41, with the plays on the cuff.
I played in that game when he came in, and we forgot that he didn't play defense, and they beat us 35-3.
All right, they could not draw Dallas off. This time they'll kick away from 5 yards further out. David Lee hangs one up. It doesn't turn over. Butch Johnson will try on the sidelines.
Good catch.
And he tightrope down the sidewalk. Down the sideline goes Butch Johnson. He picked up about 9 yards just with his own skill. He was right on the sideline, and he moves all the way down to the 40-yard line of Baltimore.
Those stats give you some indication of Marcia Broda's game plan, which is to try to stay close. But you can't win that way. Look at time of possession.
That's really wild.
You know, another thing Baltimore did all preseason, pointing toward this game, they weren't showing any offense at all, no multiple sets, nothing to their outside receivers, who only caught 5 between them, Carr and Dowdy, and they lost their quarterback last week, so they had to adjust. This is Dorsett on 1st and 10, and he has a first down at the 35-yard line. Bruce Laird made the stop.
You know, I was talking to, I wasn't talking to Harvey Martin there. What's Harvey? He's not hurt or anything, is he?
No.
No, he looks good.
He's just eager.
That's the kind of running play that Dallas has been able to really put in their offense now that Dorsett is here, and it's a lot more of the zone, straight ahead kind of blocks, and allow him to move and pick their holes. And they've never really had that kind of back to give that freedom or that flexibility, and certainly he's been able to take advantage of it.
And Dorsett, by the way, is going to have a simply tremendous year. The Cowboys were frankly worried about him. Success had come to him too quickly, and they worried about his personal life. But this young man has settled down, and he's going to be one of the great ones in the history of the league.
I lied to you a little bit. You saw how much. A 2nd down and inches. The ball at the 35-yard line. Newhouse.
Yep. He'll get
corrects my error, moves down to the 37-yard line. Dallas first down. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited, so don't use it. Dallas.
Frank, they're going into their 2 tight end situation on a 1st down. They put Saldi, and they've got Billy Joe Dupree, and they took Hill out. Strong running situation.
You know, I think Rodgers getting impatient. He'll watch for him to unload that thing in the end zone pretty soon, too.
Maybe he'll throw off of this.
On 1st and 10.
There he goes. Play action. And there he is, open. Blip. Nice.
Oh, and intended for Drew Pearson, incomplete, defending back there, number 40, Bruce Laird.
Strange to see Pearson drop that one, Don.
A nice route. Look how he just kind of weaves his way around in here, and he comes back in, jumps right there, and slides. He just didn't catch it. That's Calvin O'Neill, number 51, they had in there at linebacker, just right in the middle. Good and quiet hand.
You're a student of Bobby Dillon. The times they are a-changing. Baletnikoff, Casper, and Branch all dropped passes yesterday
there, and probably Bob Dillon would, too.
Drew Pearson. Over 230 receptions over the last 5 years. You don't see him drop passes like that. Gives Roger a 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 33-yard line.
There's your little screen. Look out.
Newhouse and Newhouse.
Well played.
Hill moving up quickly from the defensive cornerback. Turning it inside, Norm Thompson, and making the stop. Darrell Luce, number 58. Joe Ehrman in there also. Loss all the way back to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
Screen passes either work or don't work, depending on how good actors you got up there in that offensive line. They left too soon, showed the play too quickly, allowed that defense to move out there with it.
Sometimes it can be the key play in your offensive category. It used to be with Paul Brown when he had Jimmy Brown on the receiving end.
And Bobby Mitchell, too.
Tony Hill right. season is in the backfield as a wingback. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 12.
Nobody with Dorsett. Over there's nobody with Dorsett. And
Picked off down at the 15-yard line. Number 43, Norm Thompson, gets his second of the night. Man wide open. Tony Hill just short of the end zone. Roger, apparently being harassed back there, did not see him. So pick off by Lloyd. Mumford helping Norm Thompson, but Thompson gets the interception. Tom Landry, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had. Been in the playoffs 11 of the last 12 years. Not a losing season since 1966. But he's having his problems tonight against the shuffled Baltimore Colt team that is battling furiously defensively, but they can't move it on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Don McCauley, right side. And McCauley is met there by Benny Barnes, number 31, who comes up from the left cornerback spot.
Just stood there and waited, read the play immediately. No chance for a gain.
Charlie Waters was up in there, too. I was talking to some of the guys, and Waters takes, in a regular season, if the games are on schedule, he takes 4 hours on Thursday night, and he goes through the defensive computerization, and he's the guy that really calls the plays back there, and he's the guy that really does key the offensive formations better than anyone. He read that one extremely well, and he and Barnes were there about the same time.
What a safety tandem, Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters. Gain of 1 by McCauley, 2nd down and 9 from the 16-yard line. And getting the call, Roosevelt leaks. Left side, forget about it. Jethro Pugh is there. Harvey Martin moving out. Randy White.
And Dallas knows now that Kirkland's not going to throw. So they're masked. And there's no way Baltimore's going to run against that.
Jethro, according to Ernie Stout there, and it's funny, you know, guys will go along, they'll have a couple of kind of, you know, good years, but not great ones. It's been, according to Ernie, by far Jethro's best training camp. They had to let a couple of good guys go. Bill Gregory was one of them.
3rd down 7 could be a key to the Baltimore philosophy. Dallas is in a prevent defense, and Kirkland dumps it off. This is McCauley, and McCauley has the 1st down, and the flag goes down back at the 10-yard line.
It's going to be called against number 75, I think. That Dallas is pointing.
Well, that was Henderson back in there, and he actually overran the play.
Yep. It's going to be called against George Kunz, who is now in his 11th year in the league, out of Notre Dame, one of the great offensive linemen. Traditionally known as such, but a man suffering from a bad back, Frank.
He has had his problems. He hasn't played at all in the preseason. Illegal use of hands. And, of course, Coons tonight going against a pretty formidable opponent in Ed Jones. Here's the call.
Illegal use of the hands, offense number 75 during the run. Half the distance of the goal line. 3rd down still.
Now, Mike Kirkland back inside his own 10. 3rd down, 15 yards. What do you do? Never played a minute in an NFL regular season game. 6 of 24 in preseason. On the spot here tonight.
You run a draw and then you punt.
No score in the game. Quick handoff. McCauley finds a big opening. McCauley gets out to the 20-yard line. 5 yards short of a 1st down. Hit there by Cliff Harris and dropped as Dallas was willing to give them the short yardage. They weren't going to give them anything else. That brings out David Lee and drops back Butch Johnson for Dallas. There he is. 8.5 average on 50 returns last year. Here's Lee. Not a long kicker. Very accurate when he is kicking for out of bounds. He had to hustle this time. He gets out close to midfield. So David Lee being rushed by Randy Hughes. Kicks a short kick. Dallas will have the ball at midfield when we return. Howard, they have to miss him. He led our NFL in completions last year. He's a fiery kind of a quarterback, and he loves to play against Dallas.
He's one of the best there is at the position. There's no question about it.
Out for they really don't know how long. An incomplete separation of the right shoulder. 1st and 10 for Dallas, just short of midfield. Sawback, wide open is Tony Hill, and he puts a tremendous move on Duck Nettles, and look out, and that's why he's starting ahead of Golden Richard.
That is something else.
Lyle Blackwood saves the touchdown, but how about the move he put on a fairly good tackler in Duck Nettles to break it loose?
Looks like he's limping off a little bit.
That's why Tom Landry has been bragging on him all the preseason.
This is one of those where you say, all right, let's get this thing rolling. We'll pick up 5 yards and we're going to go. And you're right. He did it all on his own. Another white jersey's down there.
Remember, he beat out Butch Johnson, number 86, who was a hero of the Super Bowl. He beat out Golden Richards, who has been a solid receiver through all the years.
He has been at high school, Long Beach Poly, where Gene Washington went. Stanford, he broke all of Washington's records there, and he might set a few here in Dallas before it's all over. 49-yard pickup, 1st and goal.
There he goes.
21 is Doug Dennison, touchdown Dallas, and they get the goose eggs off the scoreboard at 8:57 remaining in the half.
That's the way Dallas can strike, abruptly. That's Tony Hill from Stanford, the man who made it possible. And Tony Hill sat out all last year, Frank. You know the way Tom is with rookies. But this year, there was no holding him back.
That was not a bad block, by the way, guys, by old Tom Rafferty, that guard who led that way in there. He kind of stood him up, too.
Raphael Seption, he missed one, a field goal attempt from a yard in closer earlier to, I'm sure, his embarrassment. This one.
All right.
It really pokes. This is what you were talking about, Don.
Well, you got Billy Joe Dupree, who's the guy that really is a heck of a blocker, number 89. You see Donovan. Look how far Donovan pushes those guys in. Heck of a block. Hey, that's Dorsett out there blocking. And
he took Nettles right off the tackle.
Sir.
So Dallas on the scoreboard. 8:57 remaining in the half. Cowboys leading the Colts 7-0. Doug Dennison scores from the 1-yard line following a 49-yard Roger Staubach to Tony Hill completion, which was mostly Tony Hill. Set to kick off. Raphael Seption deep. Marshall Johnson in the middle, number 80, flanked by number 23 Don McCauley and number 20 Joe Washington, acquired from San Diego in the trade of Lydell Mitchell. It will be Johnson as he's driven into the end zone, and he'll bring it up. Good move. Johnson gets by Denny Barnes, and Seption saves it.
All right.
Seption will get an ovation because Marshall Johnson was out of here. He has got plenty of speed, and he takes it all the way down to the 44-yard line.
Now that's the break ball Lamar needed. For the first time tonight, they've got field position. Let's see if young Mike Kirkland keeps running the ball into a masked Dallas defense or finally begins to try to throw at least.
You remember Marshall Johnson against Oakland in the playoffs. Ran one back 87 yards for a touchdown. Had a lot of problems with knees over the past 3 years, but he looked healthy on that one, and he gets Baltimore good field position at Dallas's 44-yard line. Kirkland going the slant, attempting to go to Dowdy, incomplete. Denny Barnes right on top of Dowdy.
Another one of those late defensive changes. You saw D.D. Lewis, number 50, run out and again kind of put a double on the outside receivers. That puts a lot of pressure on that quarterback. They'll give you an opening, but boy, it's got to be right in the middle. There's D.D. Lewis out in front of Roger Carr. This is the real speedster that 2 years ago had a great year. Now that's where he's got to come back. Only that 5 yards. Now Carr's coming back in there.
Second down, 10. Roosevelt leaks 48. Don McCauley 23 to setbacks. Dowdy's in motion, and the toss goes to McCauley. Leaks for the block in front of McCauley, running well, breaking tackles, and the all-time leading rusher from North Carolina gets an 8-yard pickup down to the 37-yard line. Give him 7, it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Pretty good block by Dowdy that time, number 35, coming back on old Too Tall. Closed off the inside a little bit, congested it, and enabled McCauley to get to the outside.
McCauley came up back in 1971, second pick in the draft. Remember the first one? O.J. Simpson. Marshall Johnson goes out left.
I didn't know that.
3rd and 3. And the pass of Kirkland behind Marshall Johnson.
Too bad, just poorly thrown. He could have hit Johnson. who was running the slant.
He was their leading receiver, wasn't he, in the preseason, Johnson? And he was also the leading. He led punt returns and kickoffs and stuff like that.
He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
On 4th down, David Lee rolls out. Butch Johnson drops back, positions himself at his own 10-yard line. There he is.
These guys haven't made a first down yet.
Another punt that was hurried by David Lee. Oh, and this is taking a good Baltimore bounce down around the 1-yard line. That's pretty. David Lee, he did it 19 times last year.
That's the way you can kill a team. John James did that yesterday for Atlanta against Houston. The coffin corner kick, which has come more and more into vogue, which used to be a very big thing in college football back in the 30s. Principally off the quick kick.
I know June Jones do yesterday.
He did quite well.
Good.
Read a Houston blitz. You'll see him on a halftime highlights. Caught Bubba Bean all alone. Produced the tying touchdown.
Good. Oh.
On the halftime highlights, you'll see that stunning upset of the Vikes by the New Orleans Saints. The stunning upset of the Dolphins by the New York Jets.
7:40 to go until halftime. Cowboys leading Baltimore 7-0. They'll begin from their own 1-yard line. Good kick, David Lee. Starback, play action fake. Tony Dorsett. Dorsett gets it out close to the 10-yard line. Tackled there by Doug Nettle, short of the first down by about a yard and a half.
I like that, Roger the Dodger. I like him for so many reasons. A, he's a great athlete. B, he's a great person. Tell you this, on June 29th past in Minneapolis, Minnesota, they roasted Francis Tarkenton for the benefit of the American Diabetes Association. Raised $180,000 all told. You know who showed up? Roger the Dodger. Took his lumps, too.
Good look at him. Surveying second down, a yard and a half. Hands off to Dorsett, and Dorsett is down. Hustling across Mike Barnes, number 63. NFL Players Association picked Mike Barnes as the lineman of the year in '77.
But he had his buddy Dutton in there with him, too. That front four of Baltimore,
they're solid.
What do they call them? The sack pack or something like that. They had a couple of things that went wrong last year. One of the guys a little down in the back, had a broken arm by Ehrman, but they still put it together pretty good. They're really good at rushing the passer.
Loss of a yard. Third down now, along 3. Starback. Ball deflected, but he's still caught here by number 33, Tony Dorsett. Look out!
Look out!
All right. Norm Thompson misses. It should be all over.
It's all over.
All right. 91-yard touchdown. Dorsett being congratulated. There's not a cold in the area.
Well, that ball was deflected, wasn't it?
It sure was. It didn't appear it would even get to Dorsett. When you see this in replay, Don, watch. Watch Dorsett hold position.
There it was.
See it deflected?
Almost. Oh, he almost got it again.
That's right. His vision was blocked on the ball. He held position, picked it off, and from there on in, look at that move.
Boy, is he a sweet little runner.
Oh, he's not bad.
All fluid, all grace.
There you go. Give me 5. Let's dance on him, darling.
Dallas strikes quickly once again. 91-yard touchdown pass. Starback. Tony Dorsett. Raphael Seppion on for the conversion. Good. So the inevitable is beginning to happen. Let's take another look. It's worth watching. Starback throwing right up from his own goal line. Deflected, touched twice, I believe, and away he goes.
Look at that.
Tom will get on him because that ball didn't spiral.
Norm Thompson, I don't think he even touched him. Just grabbed a handful of air.
Yeah.
See him shake the hand of his teammate as he moved it on in.
Cowboys 14, Colts nothing. We'll be back. Baltimore with 2 early opportunities. They couldn't capitalize. Dallas stammered around for a while, and they finally hit on 2 big plays. A 49-yard pass to Tony Hill and a 91-yard touchdown pass to Dorsett. It's 14-0, and here comes Don McCauley, running back kickoff, doing a little bit of everything tonight on an injury-riddled Baltimore Colt team, and McCauley gets out to the 29-yard line where Baltimore will try and get back in it. They really, quite honestly, do not have the weapons to do so.
They don't. They're in chaos no matter how they try to protest otherwise. Look at that. The loss of Lydell Mitchell, one of the premier players in professional football, for whatever reason. Joe Washington probably will see his greatest service. The guy they got for Lydell is a kick runner.
Man on the spot, young Mike Kirkland, 6'1", 184-pounder, third year out of Arkansas, playing in his first pro game. Hands off, McCauley. McCauley goes out to the 32-yard line. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8, hit by Bruning. 53, Harvey Martin, 79.
Don, explain why you play into Dallas's hands against the flex defense when you consistently run on first down.
No, I don't have any way. I don't have any idea how to explain that, but I imagine that it's not that much easier to throw against them. You know, it's one of those, between a rock and a hard place.
It's what you have to do.
Yeah, well, they're going to get so far behind in a little while, they'll really get panicky, and Dallas can go into that prevent defense. But the amazing thing is they have really no first downs and only 37 yards rushing.
2nd down, 8. Dallas, the #1 defense in the NFL last year. 3rd against the pass, 2nd against the rush.
Look out, kid.
Too tall. Makes Kirkland throw it high, and that gave the defensive area, led by Tom Henderson, a chance to get to McCauley before he could get to the ball.
I honestly believe there is no better athlete in football today than Tom Henderson. We've talked about him in the past years. He runs like a halfback. He has tremendous speed. He used to be used, as you look at him there, by Tom Landry on kickoffs. He would take the ball on a reverse. Some years back, he broke one for a touchdown, and in the Super Bowl game against Pittsburgh, which Dallas did lose, on the opening kickoff, he set up Dallas's first touchdown by running it back on the receiving end of a reverse into Pittsburgh territory.
3rd down, 7. McCauley and Marshall in the backfield. Kirkland, he's got it. He'll get the first.
First down.
And steps out of bounds at the 46-yard line. First down, Baltimore. Mark Washington up there threatening.
They'll choose somebody out because there was nobody over there. Somebody's supposed to stay home. Good move by Kirkland, though. He's never going to. He saw a big opening there. Had to run with it.
By the way, if you want to watch Dallas develop later in the season, you'll have the chance right here on ABC. Not once, but twice. We'll be back in the big day for Minnesota against Dallas, and we'll be in the national capital for Dallas against Washington.
You know, Kirkland still has the Arkansas record for the longest run from scrimmage, 91 yards. Just thought I told that in there.
Okay. He won the pass, punt, and kick. When? 10 years ago.
10 years ago. I think I presented
right here.
the award.
Right here.
The 1st and 10. Baltimore's first down from their own 41-yard line. And they run out of time. Too much time once again.
Mike is calling his own plays, we were told, and they will get some assistance from the sideline and not messengers, but I guess that wiggle-waggle or whatever it is.
Stop. I have news.
Stop.
The Cowboys' longest pass play in history was 95 yards. It was from Don Meredith to Bob Hayes. Tonight, you saw the 2nd longest, 91 yards. Staubach to Dorsett. Ooh, you were something, Don.
Yeah, well, I threw mine a lot further than
Who
Bob.
caught it?
I don't know. I just threw it up and said, y'all go
tell
get
you,
it.
when you had number 22 to throw to, it wasn't too bad.
It was not bad.
Bob Hayes. Oh.
That is right.
5-yard penalty. First down, 15. The ball inside the 41-yard line. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Baltimore trailing the Cowboys 14-0.
Look out, Mike.
Oh, boy. Kirkland attracts everybody. 50, D.D. Lewis is there.
That Thomas Henderson again, too, I think, wasn't it?
Yep.
Pugh is there. Henderson.
But I'll tell you, through all the years we've watched D.D. Lewis, they were writing, watch D.D.
They love to blitz on 2nd and long.
You see that Henderson just delayed there a little bit, and that's in order to make that offensive line or blockers commit. He's got that extra speed that he can spot you half step, still beat you back there.
We talked about it before. He ran a legit, unaided 9.5 up at Oklahoma State a few years back, and he weighs 220 pounds.
You looked at D.D. Lewis. What a guileful veteran.
2nd down and a bundle, 25 yards. Draw play. Roosevelt leaks, and Leaks gets out to the 38-yard line, gets some of it back. It'll still be 3rd down and long.
What you're going to see in the National Football League this year, with a 16-game schedule, as one studies the troubled Marcia Broda, is the team with the greatest number of reserves, the team that can best withstand injuries, and Burt Jones is an example, emerging on top.
3rd down, 18. Dallas in a prevent. Randy Hughes comes in. He's number 42. Kirkland, down he goes.
I could have almost guessed that because he had everybody screaming at him from both sides. Everybody's hollering and yelling and telling him he's in prevent defense. Man, you ain't got a damn thing about nothing. I said, look out, Mike.
I got my own problems back here.
Don't tell me your problems on the sideline.
Did you see it was in there? Our old friend Larry Cole.
Oh, he's a good one, isn't he?
63, and Tommy Henderson again, number 56.
I read a thing in the paper about Larry Cole. They always gave for his one-liners. They say, why do you always... He said, I can't remember more than one line at a time.
David Lee will punt. Butch Johnson is deep. 3:36 remaining in the first half. Lee hits one and it turns over this time, and it'll drive Butch Johnson inside his 20. Good coverage, and Johnson goes down at the 26-yard line. 47-yard punt. Ozdowski down there, number 71 for Baltimore.
You look at Butch Johnson and you understand why Dallas has such a great football team. Why they're equipped to withstand any